to you by Shawn Porter Promotions.
Telling you, I'm gonna miss pushing the button. I'm gonna miss pushing them buttons.
You are gonna miss it or you're not gonna miss it?
I'm gonna miss it, but I am and I ain't. I mostly am.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I think we all literally were like statues.
When it started.
Yeah, we're all just like scared to move.
Well, everybody, welcome to the Porter Way Podcast. Showtime Shawn Porter. We got Carson A. Merck. We got Anthony B. Anthony Bernal. And of course, from
Fight Hype.
Sean Zytel is with us as well. What's up, everybody? As y'all can see, we are back in studio. We made it happen.
Yeah.
Back with it.
COVID tried to end us.
Yeah.
I was lucky, Carson could murk me, pun intended, for having a jersey on. That is definitely gimmick infringement.
Right.
But the fight was in Miami today, and I got
Represent.
Yeah.
I ain't mad at you. I actually went away from the green tonight because Floyd had on the green. I didn't want nobody to think like, oh, he did that for
style.
He did that for Floyd, Yeah, hey, we got a boxer in the ring against a YouTuber. I'm not. There's no secret of who I'm expecting to win or even rooting for, but the fight went the way that it went.
Clean, man. You look good. You look good.
I would stand
I'll check
up.
you out. You look good, bro.
I would stand up, but put the.
I mean, the fight went the way you expected it to go.
Yeah.
You thought Logan Paul would hold his own with Floyd Mayweather?
Yeah. I swear, I just texted my cousin. He said, I'm surprised. Shout out to my cousin LaRon back home in Cleveland. He said, I'm surprised that Paul was able to make it the distance with Floyd. And I said, he's an athlete. And I hear that from back home. That's the word on the streets, is that he is an athlete. He's done some sports in his life. He's not a newbie to athletics. Yeah. And on top of that, he's from Cleveland, and there ain't no quitters from Cleveland.
Oh, now he's from Cleveland.
Now he's from
I had to do
Cleveland.
my research.
Oh,
I figured it out a couple hours ago. He is from Cleveland.
I'll take it when
on a previous episode.
Yeah.
Westlake.
That's not the point.
Yeah. Okay. No, I don't. It wasn't fun to watch.
Yeah.
Just as as a visual spectacle, it was not like a lot of holding, understandably so.
Tonight was different.
Yeah.
The boxing world tonight was a little different.
Shout out to Chad Ochocinco.
Yeah, should we start at the beginning?
I told you.
He didn't get laid out, though.
I know, but it's still, that's all they gonna talk about.
Yeah, which is tough. Which if you're Chad, you just want to make it through without that exact moment.
Yeah.
He looked okay though.
No, I thought my dad, he has a fast jab.
Yeah, he looked pretty good.
Yeah.
And this is just me, or did he come out? It was 4 rounds. He came out in the beginning of every single round and threw a straight fast jab, and it landed. Yeah. And then, did it disappear, right? Or is it just me? I feel like it was once in the beginning of every round. And
it's
that
like
was
football. Ant knows football. The scripted plays. You go out there with the scripted play to start the game. His scripted play was the jab. So he's like, they're like, all right, go throw a jab to start the round. He's like, all right, cool. Dang. Pops the jab out there, and then he's like, all right, I got nothing.
Then my man threw something and caught him. Was it third or fourth?
Fourth.
Was it
third?
I thought it was the third.
I was confused. I thought Sean
it all blends together. But yeah,
it was the fourth, actually.
It was the fourth.
Yeah, it was the fourth.
It was interesting. Chad makes it through, though. As a big fan of Chad, I'm glad he didn't get Nate Robinson, I guess is a verb now. But
it was weird. I actually thought we were going to see him talk more to this dude. And I think
during the fight?
Yeah. And I think that he didn't feel much competition coming from the dude. And so you could see when he got knocked down, he was acknowledging, hey, that was a good shot. That was a good shot. And I feel like if he tried. This is new. This is new.
He tried to dap him up afterwards. Nah, this isn't the time. This isn't the time.
Well, apparently he was given a hell of a pep talk after the fight. Apparently, Chad Johnson had a lot of words of wisdom to offer Brian Maxwell.
They talked for quite a while.
So, that's what's up.
I don't know. Maybe part of it's just that's not his arena.
Yeah, it's not his comfort zone.
We know Chad as far as football goes, he's gonna be out there talking his trash. But as far as boxing, I think maybe he just wasn't as comfortable as he normally would have been.
Well, offense really is, or defense really is tougher than offense in boxing. He had a nice right hook. He had a check right hook a few times, a lead right hook.
You
but
liked him alluding. He dipped under a shot.
He did dip under. You know what? You're right. He had that highlight reel that actually made the highlights him dipping under a shot. Yeah. But defense is tougher than offense in boxing.
Go ahead.
No, because every time he looked to commit to shots, Maxwell countered him and had an opportunity to land something. So that's part of why I think he didn't stick to his jab and throw more punches. And then
That's what I saw too.
right
That's what I saw too.
yeah. So he's able to get in a single shot, but when he tried to commit, that's what got him dropped. And he threw about 45 punches that round, and it's just interesting how people, they don't realize how tough a pace is in a fight.
Yeah.
In boxing, we consider 40 punches a round a slow pace.
Yeah.
And he threw 10 punches a round.
Yeah.
So it's a good experience to show just how tough it is at the top levels.
I've actually, nobody's ever asked me, is it tougher to be offensively dominant, or is it tougher to be defensively dominant? And I mean, am I even saying that correctly?
Yeah.
What you just said is it's clear you can see that it's harder to be better off, or how did you?
It's tough. It's tough. The defensive side of the sport is tougher
than the offensive. And nobody's ever asked me like what's tougher, being offensive or being defensive. And like while you're talking, I'm sitting back thinking, I'm like, I think it's harder to make somebody miss than it is to try to hit a guy.
Right.
Obviously, anybody can close their eyes and throw punches and hope that one of those punches would land. And I'm just sitting here thinking, like, is it easier? Is it harder for me to hit somebody or make somebody miss me? And I think that the energy raises when I have to make somebody miss and I have to like defend. My energy actually raises. I think that my energy output is actually higher when I'm defensive against somebody opposed to when I'm throwing combinations and being offensive, because I think that control, you know where your range and your distance is, you know where your control is, you know where your combinations are, you know what you're looking for, so on and so forth. The opposite side of that is somebody's coming at you and it's like you don't know exactly what they're going to throw. You may have the anticipation and things like that, but it's like you got to go left and right, make a miss and step and all that kind of stuff.
Think about that in the other, 3 sports come to mind: basketball, soccer, football. It's always easier when you have the ball because you know where you want to go. It's like they say, like when it's wet, like if the field's wet in football, the offense is at a huge advantage because they can cut and they know in their mind where they're going, and defensively you're reacting. I mean, Ant's got T. Lou getting stepped over by Iverson. It
was a perfect day to wear it.
I'm certain.
This anniversary.
If Iverson's coming
defense
at me,
was hard for Tyronn Lue that play.
Yeah, shout out to T. Lue though. Got the Clippers out of the first round as the coach, but I think it's easier when you know, okay, I'm going to do this. And defensively, you're banking on them and your reactionary skills. But I don't know. Chad made it through.
Good right hook.
Yeah, good right hook, good jab, slipped the punch. It looked good.
Hey, he got back up. Give him that, man. Because I thought it was over.
Yeah,
I thought it was over.
Quiet.
I thought it was.
Yeah,
I said Ocho going in first. You said, yeah, he about to get slept.
I said that.
Yeah. I'm sorry, did I bust you out?
No, that's what I said.
He was making a technical view, like it wasn't like some personal thing. It was Ant saw something in round one.
Saying somebody gonna get slept is anything technical about that.
You know, he saw something. You saw a little exchange in round one, and then
he said that
before the fight.
He said that before he was in the ring.
Just go along with it because I'm trying to make you look like.
And then he said, and the ring wet. Oh yeah, he getting slept.
Oh yeah, when it started raining,
and it started to pick up with the I guess we can say comfortably the best fight of the night.
Yeah,
was
Arias
that
was a good fight.
That was a good fight.
And Jarrett Hurd.
Is Jarrett Hurd done?
No, this one did not put him away.
Oh,
not that I want him to be put away. I'm just saying.
It was at 160, which is another variable to factor in, I guess. But I'm not sure if that
can he
factors in.
I guess he can make
shape.
154.
He said before the fight he can make 154, and his plan is to go to 54, or go back to 54. Yeah, I thought Arias won. It was close. Yeah. We all were sitting there. It was.
I heard a point, but when you ask if he's done, it's just clear he's not the same force he was when he was undefeated. That confidence to just go forward all 12. Gas tank was crazy back then. Still showed the chin tonight.
Yeah.
He got hit with some bombs.
But in the round about 5, 6, 7, when Arias was fatigued, I think the old Jarrett Hurd would have got him out of there. He would have pressed, but he's in transition right now, trying to do some of these new things, fight with a guy coming to him instead of constantly pressing forward. And, you know, there's growing pains when you're trying to implement new things. But I liked what I saw early. Nice up jab, you know, sharp short shots underneath on the inside.
Uppercuts were
there you go
as well.
And what is even crazier is Shawn just said to y'all what I said to him during the fight. So he reporting it now like that was his assessment. I'm saying, like,
I don't know. I heard Zytel saying that to me during the fight without your influence.
Did he? He said that to you? Well, because I said it to him.
Mentioned a lot of the.
You shook your head like I was.
You
Yeah,
guys
but you
both know boxing, so you both will observe
great
the same
minds
thing.
think alike.
shook his head like he was just hearing it and thinking it for the first time.
Well, you
Don't agree.
gotta
It's
make
like,
you feel good.
yeah, but you can say like, oh yeah, I see the same thing.
Get your shine.
We have basically pre-production. We talk about stuff. If somebody take this stuff, just let them take
Nah, I
that.
can't let him take that. He's good enough on his own. He don't come in here with my stuff.
You're right.
He was cooking that. He was
ahead,
cooking
Shawn.
it up on his own.
Yeah.
Boy, y'all know he way solid on his own. You way solid on your
100%.
own. Don't take mine.
Go ahead, Shawn.
Now what I'm gonna say?
Now
what I was
you
saying.
really got to come up with some high level.
Don't get in the ring.
Talk about if he fought Charlo or something.
Yeah, don't get in the ring with Charlo. That's what I'm saying. Take it from there, Shawn.
Either of them?
Yes.
Yeah, either of them.
Yeah, what you like? There's a big difference.
like you thought the fighting Jamal would have been better.
No, I take Jamel.
No, I meant
I don't even know if there's a third brother. But
I meant
even if there's a third
Whoop
brother,
his
I won't
ass.
fight him either.
I meant Luis Arias or Jarrett Hurd.
Hey,
Neither of them should
what's
get in the ring
disrespectful
with
is
the
Luis
160.
won the fight, and we still not talking about him. We're talking about Jarrett Hurd.
We getting there. We get there.
Well, I think Jarrett Hurd, to be fair, I think was the A side, and I think he was the guy that.
Did he come out first?
No, Arias came out first. Yeah.
Okay.
So Jarrett Hurd was the favorite. He was expected to win, but no, he did good. He was throwing some huge shots. He was landing a lot of
Actually,
those
you
huge
wanted to
shots.
bet on Arias, and I talked you out of it. So
Oh, no, don't do that. Because he wrong. He didn't talk me out of it. We didn't see the bet we won.
you're right. Yeah.
As a team.
I didn't talk you out of it.
Yeah, as the 1-2 punch right here, we came together and it's like, yeah, our bet ain't on the line. So it's
I
whatever.
think he had a flashback. I mentioned you to when you fought Luis Arias.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
Outside.
Yeah.
Like he's on your record.
As an amateur.
Oh, okay.
As an amateur.
Riverfront.
Yeah.
Cuyahoga Falls,
But
Ohio.
he put the paws on him.
Sean touched him up.
No. He put the paws on Shawn.
No, Sean beat him.
Nah. I'm
Clearly.
Yeah, but I think tonight I told Sean, he was like, man, this is just like the Riverfront.
Hey, here,
Cuyahoga
listen.
Falls, Ohio.
I'll tell the true story. So we're at the riverfront. Anybody back home, y'all know what that is. We outdoors. A little sprinkle out there too that
Probably,
night.
yeah.
But nothing like tonight.
Tonight was coming down.
So my opponent didn't show up.
Oh, okay.
And my dad brought Luis in because he had worked with him in the camp before, like some years ago. And at this point in time, he was 17 and I think I was 20. I think I'm about 3 years older than Luis. Our opponent didn't show up. And so my dad approached him and his team. I mean, we like this at that point in time. And we kind of talked him into getting in the ring with me. Again, he's 17. He hadn't really had any open fights. And when you turn 17, you have more than 10 fights. Now you're fighting anybody that's between 17 and 35.
No weight division?
No. The weight division is there, but the age division is not there.
Restriction doesn't happen
So,
anymore.
yeah, there's no age restriction. So, they actually were a little tentative and nervous about getting in the ring with me. I mean, I'd done everything at that point. I was on the Olympic team as
You're
an alternate
older.
at that point. I'm older, all that kind of stuff. So, my dad said to me, he says, we're going to start off, kind of like that situation I told you about way back, right?
Yeah.
So my dad says, we're going to start off slow and then we're going to pick it up along the way. And it's 4 2-minute rounds, no biggie. And I started off slow. And of course he started off fast, but we're back home. So it's no point system. But I really didn't feel like that confident going into the last round. Like this is my fight in the bag. This dude said I handled it easy, but in my mind at least, I was like, nah, I gotta step it up, right? So I'm on him the whole round, do what I do, and I end up getting a decision. But I remember I got the decision. I was like, this kid is better than I expected him to be. I can't do that again, right?
He's
So
from
then,
Wisconsin?
yeah, he's from Wisconsin. You fast forward. And I actually drew him in the championship round at the U.S. Championships. I wasn't able to fight in the championships, but I kind of had in my mind, like, start fast on this kid. Don't let him get comfortable and take it to him. But what he had, and the point of that is, when you're 17 and it's like the whole game is ahead of you, you doing the best you can, not just to keep up, but to get there and to be there. And I feel like when he came out here as a professional, he was with TMT. I think he was kind of living that TMT lifestyle. Didn't really take things serious. Didn't really grow the way he should have grown. I expected to see much better boxing ability from Luis tonight because I know where he comes from. He has a very good amateur pedigree and a great amateur background. A lot like Jalen Love. Those guys in the amateurs, even though they didn't beat the top guys, they were up there with the top guys. And it's like they kind of regressed a little bit as professionals.
Just coming to Vegas, join that TMT. You literally feel like a superstar in Vegas.
In that era.
Yeah, Vegas, yeah. If you were a TMT in Floyd era,
this is what I learned about the TMT in that Floyd era when Floyd was still doing his thing. And so for anybody that doesn't know, the TMT era when Floyd was doing his thing was maybe between 2008 and 2013 or 14. You had a lot of young guys come out here, sign with TMT. And what I mean by living the TMT lifestyle, Floyd, y'all see everything that Floyd does, but Floyd is responsible. Floyd's been through it. Floyd handles his business.
And a notoriously hard worker.
And a notorious hard worker.
That's
However,
what people don't see.
These kids come out here and they live that lifestyle, but Floyd doesn't tell them, like, yo, you got to handle your thing. You got to be on it, da-da-da-da-da. These guys get fights that come up and they're really not prepared for them. And they're kind of like what you would consider backyard fights, but it's like in your home and you're not going to be seen until you're ready. And a lot of these guys really weren't ready to be seen, but it's because they left the hard work where they came from. They didn't really understand that you made it, especially because you signed with TMT, but you still got to handle your job, do your job. And Floyd just ain't no babysitter. And Floyd wasn't babysitting these kids. A lot of these kids need babysitters. I'm going to keep it real. My dad was my babysitter. I'm at a point now where I'm like, I got to get it together. My dad's like, you got to get it together. Yeah. But I went through the growing pains and all that kind of stuff, him babysitting me and really growing me hard. And the guys that didn't grow hard never grew. And
you feel like Luis.
I feel like Luis really plateaued at a point. And I think that he didn't a lot of the things that I think he should be able to do in the ring, he can't do them or doesn't do them. And I don't know what that's from. I mean, we looked up and we in the fourth round were thinking that he might not be prepared for 10 rounds. I said, I don't know what's going to happen in rounds 8, 9, 10.
Especially throwing those big shots, we thought.
Especially throwing the big shots.
Fired off a little early.
So I wasn't sure what kind of Luis Arias we were going to see in rounds 8, 9, 10. He kept it together. Yeah. I thought he won the fight.
Yeah.
I thought it was a justified decision. I saw that it was a split decision. I said, all right, split draw is what it is. But he ends up getting a decision. I think it was great for him, great for his career. I think at this point, you kind of have to look at your performance. Look at what you did. Look at where you got hit, those little mental errors. And then look at some of the things that other guys do. Maybe it's in your weight class. Maybe it's in a lower weight. Maybe it's a welterweight. But pick up on what these other guys are doing. Pick up on the training regiments and try to improve. I just really think that he kind of plateaued as a boxer. And I think that he can get better. I just think that it's a lot that's kind of left untold or untaught by him. And I don't think he really has learned everything that he has to learn at this point.
It's a good win, though.
Yeah, it's a good win. And essentially what I'm saying
Hurd.
is we haven't seen the best of Luis Arias. You know?
No, it was do or die for him tonight, because he had that big opportunity on HBO against Daniel Jacobs where he didn't, fighting a big guy. And he didn't let his hands go. And that didn't sit well with
the issue tonight.
No. So he, big credit to Luis Arias for fighting like his back was against the wall and pulling out a win where he was an underdog. Just for that, before the fight, he was asked, I talked with him about letting his hands go, and he promised that he would in this fight. Win or lose, he was going to do what he needed to do to get himself, and he did. So
big reason why I said that he might knock out Jarrett Hurd in this fight is because I know that Jarrett doesn't use his feet and he doesn't use head movement. How do you get hit with an overhand right that consistently? I applaud you for standing up to him.
It was coming deep too.
I applaud you for standing up to him, but where's the adjustment?
Yeah.
So that's my thing with Jarrett Hurd is, again, we talking about a fighter plateauing or not being able to improve. I feel like there is a disconnect between what's being taught to him and then what he's capable of doing. You work on your defense, and I think that was something that was said along the night too. Yeah, by Abner Myers. He says he's got to work on his defense, but in the corner, I'm keep it real. Pretty sure I don't get hit with the same punch too many times in a fight, because as soon as I get hit, I'm calculating what I got hit with. How do I prevent that from happening again? And I just don't see that from Jarrett Hurd. You don't get hit with that overhand right that consistently and not make an adjustment. So where's the disconnect?
And in different spots in the ring. It wasn't like, when he gets me against the ropes, he's really hitting me with this overhand right. It was in the middle of the ring, in the corner, against the ropes.
But that wasn't as big a problem when he was eating it and coming forward and throwing 60, 70 punches around. If you're going to,
He has so much confidence. I'm just going to overwhelm you, and I can take punches. That's my game plan.
But he's not fighting like that.
I was going to say that's the thing now, is that he kind of like pulled away from that. And I get that. Control your offense. Use more technique and more skill. Use a good jab. Keep the guy off with. Like, I hear what K. Karoma is trying to show him and teach him. I just don't know if he's capable of doing it. And it's a thing that we know that our brain capacity, once our muscle memory is there in terms of what we do, and we gotta turn all that off and do some other things. He doesn't strike me as a guy that you can add to his repertoire.
I guess I would disagree a little bit, because I think it's easier to crank that back up than it is to crank it down at this point with his offensive aggression.
Right.
I think because like Saitel said, that's what he was. He walked you down, overwhelmed you.
It's like Leo Santa Cruz in the Gervonta fight. He had a game plan. Yeah. But then he
I think Jarrett Hurd, after this, if he goes back to 54, if he stays at 60, either way, I think naturally Jarrett Hurd is the guy we're talking about when he was undefeated. He was walking you down, he was throwing shots, he was wearing some shots. It's gonna happen. So I think they can say, hey, we tried to adjust a little bit, we tried to do something a little differently, bump that.
But what's K gonna do?
Well, it's hard. Like Oscar Valdez really showed us a really invaluable lesson. Like Deontay Wilder is going to try and turn it all away in one fight with Malik Scott, but remember he had growing pains with in the Adam Lopez fight. He got dropped, and so he had these fights where Valdez, he was looking kind of for him bad because he wasn't reverting back to. When those fights got tough, instead of reverting back to what in the short term could have made it easier, he worked on what in the long term was going to benefit him. Yeah. But he still managed to win the fights while looking rough, and that's what Jarrett wasn't able to do tonight. Mm-hmm. But, Jarrett's in a tough spot, because I think that's what him and Kay are trying to do is, growing pains. It might look rough in a fight or 2 fight or 3 fights, but ultimately we're going to get to this point in that muscle memory where you can do more things now than you were able to before. But like Carson said, he may not be one of those guys that can really do that. And if he can't, and if it's not getting him anywhere, he might have to go back to what got him there in the first place. But it's tough to ask a guy, especially when he's made some money and whatnot. Yeah. Hey, can you go back to that style where you eat 2 or 3 punches to get back? That's tough, man. Well, that's tough.
Here's what we saw tonight. We saw him eat a lot of shots, and we saw his we saw his punch output decrease, and it's decreased in his last 2 fights. And so, and I think this is his 3rd fight with K. Karoma, maybe his 4th.
Might be his 2nd.
Yeah, no, this is 3rd.
Yeah, I thought it was maybe 2nd or 3rd.
2nd or 3rd.
Yeah, I think it might be his 2nd.
But here's my thing. I think that Coach understands and believes in what he teaches and what he knows. Yeah. And now it's just, can I get my fighter to do this? And now you're 2 fights in, and it hasn't really worked for you to this point.
In a fight that this was set up to win. Yeah. This wasn't one you're supposed to lose. This wasn't a 50-50 fight.
And he had Luis hurt a few times too.
Mm-hmm. For the kill.
So it's like when I get the dude hurt, it's like you got to snap back to who you used to be. You know what I mean? It's like you just got to kind of know how to turn it on and turn it off. Right. And I think for me, that's kind of like where my success lies, is kind of knowing like how to turn it on and turn it off, pick those points and those moments, and maybe that part isn't shared with Jarrett to this point. Hey, I ain't gonna say what my dad tells me, but at the end of the day, it's like when you see that the guy's hurt, you just have to know, like, I do what I've always done. It can't anymore be about what I'm learning.
That's when it's time to break out the bread and butter.
Yeah.
You tweaked the aggressive Shawn Porter in your mid-career.
Yeah.
You added, you still bring it, like, when somebody's hurt, that's Shawn Porter's coming.
I mean,
if you look at, I guess for an example, because the easiest example is usually you.
Sorry, man, everybody. We always go to Shawn.
Yeah, but like you versus Ugas, I think is something where fans, myself included, I don't know if Ant felt the same way, where you would land a couple shots and we're like, okay,
Get on his ass.
Yeah,
go.
Right.
So I think maybe imagine if after that fight, if that's what your style was supposed to be, all of a sudden everyone would be like, but that doesn't benefit you.
Yeah.
So I think at some point, Jarrett Hurd, K. Roma, I think they're going to say, okay, we can tweak it a little bit, but you are who you are.
Yeah.
It's almost like you're adjusting to something that might benefit you if you were a different fighter.
Yeah.
But with your skill set,
Right.
you should be doing this.
That's what I meant. I mean, I
Yeah.
think we just took the whole long way around to get to.
You would have let me get my off.
God, why
It's an hour-long podcast, though. We got to fill up some minutes.
I'm exhausted now because I'm mad. I'm mad that we went all the way around just for me to say, yeah, I just don't think that he has the capability. I said that before, but I don't think that he has the capabilities to do everything.
And it's crazy how much he smothers his shots.
Yeah, and capabilities might even be harsh. I would say it just doesn't benefit him. That's just not who he is. I'm trying to think of an example like I'm trying to think who somebody like Chocolatito. You're not going to be like, hey, be a completely defensive fighter.
Yeah.
He probably can to an extent,
Right.
but like his benefit is his offensive output and his aggression,
Staying in there
and staying in the pocket. So I think it might just be, capability might be a little harsh. I think that's not the best Jarrett Hurd.
Yeah.
The best Jarrett Hurd is the one we saw where he's aggressive.
Yeah.
So I think he just needs to get back to that.
But Andre, go ahead. Sorry.
What does Jarrett Hurd do now?
I mean, honestly,
Depends on the division.
Yeah, depends on which division he's going
He
to.
still lost.
Yeah, true. He lost no matter what the division is.
I think maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I just don't know the business, but I feel like he's still got a name and can still
Absolutely.
get big fights.
Still.
Am I wrong?
No,
he's by
still
no
in
means
there.
to the point where we're like, I don't care about Jarrett Hurd.
What I'm saying,
anymore.
like, if he was in the fight in 3
next
months,
week, he might be in
watching.
bad shape.
in 3 months, I had to change it up.
I was like, wait a second.
I had to change it. Like, all right, if
Those
he's
are
in
lofty
6
expectations.
months, let's go with 6 months.
Yeah,
If
6
he's in a
months,
fight
all
in
right.
6 months with Jamel Charlo, like, I'm not mad at that. If he's in a fight in 6 months with the other Charlo brother, I'm not mad at that. And just something about him, I think that he's
exciting.
Yeah,
I think
that.
you know what I think might be
wrong?
a decent matchup is trying running back with J-Rock.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think it's still. I mean,
that is a good fight.
Jarrett Hurd, even in a loss, I don't think any of us were like, that wasn't fun to watch. That was by far, comparatively to the rest of the card.
The rest of the card, yeah.
That was by far the most exciting fight and fun to watch.
What about Luis? Do we give him Tony Harrison?
I like that fight.
I don't know what division he's.
Do we give him Lar?
No, don't give him Lara. Don't give him Lara.
That's
Cuban American versus the Cuban Cuban.
He got us a big victory.
I think Lara.
Give him a shot.
I think Lara would dance. Yeah, you know how I feel about him. I think he would dance around.
I think he will too.
Yeah.
Give him a shot. I
Yeah.
think he beat Tony Harrison.
I think he beats Tony.
Damn, Tony.
Arias
Oh my
does?
God.
Yeah.
That's another Midwest battle. I
Yeah,
like
what
that.
you think?
I like the Midwest battles.
I think that's a good fight, but I think Tony.
I'm gonna give the edge to Tony. I know the chin, I know, but I'm gonna give
Because
the
he'll
edge to
dance
Tony.
around him.
Michigan versus
Once he get
Wisconsin.
caught,
That's
man.
But he didn't do that in
Big
his
Ten
last
battle.
fight.
Yeah.
He didn't do no moving in his last
Yeah,
fight.
he didn't.
He didn't move as much. Oh yeah. Oh,
The
yeah.
movement was
I forgot the
different.
draw.
And they're
It was
both-
flat.
I'm sorry, man, but when he fought
Brian
Jamel
Perella,
Charlo,
yeah.
I really did think that. I thought that Tony Harrison won that first fight, and I thought that he boxed
He
masterfully.
controlled the ring.
And he
Yeah.
fought great in the rematch
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
middle rounds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Just got caught.
yeah, and he got caught. So it's kind of like he has the number one. He's got to keep it together, and then number two is like you got to splash the first Charlo fight, and then splash that second Charlo fight, the middle of that fight. Like splash that, put that together, and you're a solid fighter.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
And exciting outside and inside the ring. You know. So I like that fight for Luis Arias.
Yeah. No.
Lar?
Harrison.
No, not Lara. I'm sorry. I just think
trying
that
to get
Lara
fight. I'm trying to get Lara
I think
fight.
that Lara is a great boxer.
Nobody
I think that
wants
Lara
Lara
is solid,
Laid out cornflake.
and everything that he does. And I think
Canelo?
he's just a hard fight for anybody.
I'm down for that. Okay.
I wouldn't mind still seeing Lara fight Jermell Charlo at some point because that's the only guy that Jermell hasn't crossed paths with. Like he's and I think he's gonna win the Castano fight. He's about to become the first ever undisputed junior middleweight champion of all time.
Wow, good for him.
But probably
because I don't think Castano can beat him.
I think Castano gonna push him.
I heard you. Yeah, I remember you said.
I
I
mean, he
was
can push
like,
him. I don't think he beats him, but he
No, I don't think
test
he's
him a little
gonna.
bit.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna beat him. Now.
This gonna be like the Rosario fight. It's gonna be fun. There's gonna be rounds where Castano's landing that heat, getting the hook into the body, but ultimately,
Yeah.
you don't walk into that fire.
Yeah.
You don't try to chase down a guy like
And
Jermell Charlo.
that's his game. That's Castano's game.
And I'm sure he'll have success in rounds, but ultimately,
And I don't know if he got power. Because Jamel can take. I mean, he can take a hit.
Castano can punch. He's more of an accumulation guy than
overwhelms you by quantity, not quality.
Yeah,
like Shawn Porter, right? True.
True. I say it all the time.
Yeah, no, that's true. We want to go next. Next fight was
No,
we didn't want to touch on it.
I'll get disrespectful.
Shout out
on
to
this show.
friend of the podcast, Badou Jack.
On the Jarrett Hurd fight, though, it's
go
just
ahead.
you make great point about he may be trying to implement things that can't realistically be implemented at the highest level given his skill set and what he's about. Andre Ward, he made a great point. He said, guys like that. When guys talk about altering their style, what do they always talk about? Boxing more. And he said it's because it's human nature to not want to keep taking punishment as you get older. So I think that's a big problem for someone like Jarrett Hurd when it's the style that benefits you the most requires you take the most punishment.
Yeah.
So
it's
hard being a fighter, right, Shawn? I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know.
Honestly, if we keep it real, we've seen guys be aggressive, punch and move their head and keep coming.
Like Canelo.
I mean, obviously Mike Tyson's the one that really stands out for me. Smoking Joe Frazier also stands out for me. But if that's what I would have done. If I was going to work with Jarrett Hurd, I would have tried to teach him how to implement more defense with his offense.
While going forward.
While going forward. I get why you would try to get him to box more. I mean, you have a 78 inch reach. It just makes sense for you to use your jab, use a strong, long jab, and 1-2 and things like that. And your feet's terrible, so
Yeah, because I want to move him.
Yeah,
his feet.
Yeah,
it's horrible.
Yeah, his feet are bad.
I think we'll see if he just goes back to walking people down, rocking it out.
Just do your thing, man.
Yeah.
Just do you.
You got to do you.
Likable guy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
and
absolutely.
also lost his dad.
Rest in peace.
I'm sure that factors in.
Absolutely.
But
yeah. One more thing. How many losses did Jarrett Hurd have?
This is his second.
Yeah.
This is his second
First one was
loss.
J-Rock.
I know that you were kind of like, hey, where does he go from here? Is he done? I'm like, nah, he ain't done.
Says the guy with 3 losses.
But I always say the way Shawn lost is in wars.
Shawn's like, hell no, 2 losses doesn't mean you're done.
Depends
Not that it's 3.
Depends on who you are.
He got one ass whooping.
How the fights happen. Hey, ease up. All right, ease up.
You talking about Kelbrook? It wasn't an ass.
It
wasn't an ass. Well, I got you. It wasn't an ass whooping.
Hey, hold on.
It was a close
He got
fight.
3 losses, and why he picked the one I'm talking about?
It was a close fight.
Did you just for a second before we move on to the Badou Jack fight? Honestly, did you think it was a close fight?
The Kelbrook fight?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you think it was close?
No.
No. Me and my dad looked at each other and said,
Did I even know you then?
Yes, you knew me then.
I don't want to know you now, man.
So before we go to Badou, let me say one funny quote.
I text you and say we got to get the belt back.
So there was a guy.
This dude.
There was a guy in the section next to us that didn't. I think he was just a fight fan. I don't think he was there rooting for you or rooting for Kel. Just a guy.
Yeah.
And so he kind of sees we're rooting for you, and he was like, "Hey, man, tell your boy to throw a jab before he just rushes in like that." And I was like, "It's a fair point." But yeah, I didn't think it was that close. But
And then
I'm trying to get off it, man. I'm trying to go to Badou.
I was gonna say my last point about Jarrett Hurd, and then we'll move forward. But
Yeah.
I think when you're looking at 2 losses, you don't know what's next, so on and so forth. I would say go back to who you used to be,
Yeah.
and make that work for you. Ride that until the wheels fall off.
Yeah.
So
tough ask when you fight that style. It's tough.
Hey, get you some real friends around you, because I told Shawn, hey man, this shit ain't gonna work against Earl. When after the Ugas fight, I was texting. I said, Shawn, this ain't gonna work, bro. This ain't gonna work.
You did say that.
But yeah. So hopefully Jarrett Hurd
Get off me. Come
It's
on.
good to have friends like
cool.
that, though.
So Badou Jack. Speaking of friends,
Shout out Badou Jack, dominating performance.
Friend of the podcast.
Jack the Ripper.
Yeah,
Jack.
Hey, what did we watch in that fight? I don't
a
know.
very assertive referee. I'll say assertive. He was very quick to warn him and say you have one chance left.
I gotta say, do you wish that ref was in the Kell Brook fight?
I was thinking that too. I was thinking that too.
Only because
You know what's crazy is I can't help but be so fair and say yes and no. As soon as you asked me that, yes and no came to mind. Yes, because I know he would have broke it up, and the fight may have played
based
differently.
on his standards. Kell Brook would have been disqualified.
Right,
In
the fight may have played differently, but the ref was not a good referee. There's a difference between clinching and holding, and you have to be able to see that this guy's clinching and understand that, hey, this is a part of his strategy in terms of winning this fight. And I just thought that the ref was in too fast. We looked up,
and none of us were like, man, he's holding a lot. It was literally like he held or he clinched early, and right then he was like,
hey, the ref looks like
don't do it again.
He seemed like a rookie to me. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah,
I thought he just came off the street.
He was quick.
So what the ref reminded me of, honestly, what y'all saw, that's the difference between an amateur ref and the professional ref. And that's why I remember we were talking a couple of weeks ago about Kenny Bayless, and I was telling you guys that who was it? What's the fighter? 2 words.
Ramirez and Taylor.
Taylor's.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me.
Bayless came in and touched
Ramirez,
that glove.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Jose. Sometimes you get so used to that the amateur way that the judges ref. You're used to, hey, stop, break, all that. He wasn't used to all this, and at that point, it caught his attention. So that's what most refs do. Most refs pull the arms down and kind of separate you. If it's a little too much and he doesn't see action, then he steps in and separates you. Opposed to an amateur ref, the amateur refs are taught to keep it clean, let these guys work, and make it so that the guys are able to punch. The amateurs it's all about working. And as soon as there's a clinch, the refs jump in. Break. And that was an amateur ref. As soon as there was a clinch or a hold, that ref was jumping in there. I hated it.
I would say Badou did what he had to do.
Yeah.
Got him out of there.
Yeah.
Around that fight, Pascal, you should be ashamed of yourself. Yeah. Like, you're
look at his physique. Are you really surprised? I know physique doesn't determine if someone's on steroids, but I just mean that maybe that's not fair. But
Carson's not a fan of steroids.
No,
I feel like you could tell when it's a souped up version of that physique and when it's natural.
Steroids, you know?
Pascal.
I'm a fan of steroids in baseball. Bring it back, baby.
Hold on,
Pascal. Yeah.
It was the most exciting time of baseball. Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa, who is now white, was killing it.
He is Pascal was.
It's a shame.
It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to test
Sammy
positive
Sosa
for one thing.
Yeah, for Sammy to go white.
No, I'm saying for Pascal, you tested positive for 4 banned substances.
That was crazy.
And Badou's typically, we know Badou. He's very
big baby. How many he tested for?
I don't know.
He was up there too.
Wasn't
87.
But I feel like Badou is typically a very level-headed guy. He's very chill. He was fired up. Like he was like. And he said he thought maybe they was dirty the first time, and so this kind of validates that. But yeah, you're embarrassing yourself. Don't ever do it.
I talked to Badou the other day. I talked to him on Wednesday. And I asked him, I said, I at this point, I said, I know what this fight's about. It's about fighting John Pascal again. I said, but like moving forward, is it about the belts? Is it about the big names? Is it about the money? He said, man, I'm looking at moving up the cruiser. He said, but I had to get this dude back first. Yeah. And I'm pissed. Yeah. And he told me that on Wednesday. Yeah. Like, you got to move on to the next fighter.
He mentioned it in Leonard Ellerby was pissed about it. Everyone should be pissed about it.
I talked to Wade. Wade was like, I just got to keep this dude focused on who we got now. Yeah. And I could tell that it was pretty serious, but Badou, I got to have that fight back, so I appreciate that about Badou.
Hey, I always wondered, so let's say you got a big fight and something happens. Do your purse change?
I think it may depends on what happens, but my purse has never changed,
Yeah,
and I don't think that the purse changes.
You fought a fill-in fight.
Eric Bonet.
Shout out to the Bone Collector.
Fights, but
Eric Bonet.
That's my man. 50 grand.
Yeah, that's my guy.
Yeah, he was giving Shawn some work in the early rounds until he got him out of there.
I don't think the fight. I don't think the fight purse
It didn't
changes.
change for that?
I don't think so.
Shout out to Eric Bonet. I hope he's doing well.
Actually, it's funny. Now you mention it that
Hope his ankles.
Pascal would test positive because about 10 years ago, he caused a big scene at a press conference with Bernard Hopkins for their rematch. And he said, take the test, Bernard. Take the test.
That's when he was with 50?
I don't know. I don't think he's with 50, but
he's with 50.
Yeah, SMS.
That was weird.
But
That
he-
was a weird time in boxing too.
I remember that though. He went off on Bernard Hopkins and said he was take the test if you're on. And now,
10
sure
years
enough.
later.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man.
How funny is it if he was actually on it while accusing Bernard?
Hey, he should
that
be banned.
classic deflection.
He shouldn't even be allowed to fight again. Me personally.
I don't disagree. I mean that's just excessive.
crazy.
It's like I said, you guys, like you can, like there's doing steroids and there's like he was like nah I'm doing steroids, like serious. I think it was Badou mentioned like you have to inject those. I think I could be misquoting Badou, but I think he said those aren't something where it's like you're taking like nutrition and you're it might end up just he was like I'm
Taking a
correct me if
Randy
I'm wrong.
Savage steroids.
Yeah, but I'm pretty confident he was like, you have to inject that.
That's exactly what that is.
But yeah, so no, Badou got him out of there, moved on to the main event.
I wouldn't mind seeing him fight Better
Tell
BF.
me,
Yeah,
because I was disciplining my son. How did that fight end?
Some
pillow body.
TKO.
Some pillow body shots.
Yeah, he put him down with some shots that didn't appear to be that strong.
But
of
I never
shots.
been in the
Badou's
ring.
strong.
It
of
was
course,
it was a replacement fighter.
Yeah.
Kind of
it was like a body shot, kind of toward the back, and he kind of fell. It was bad.
Yeah.
You wanted out of there.
Yeah.
He definitely wanted out of there.
I wouldn't mind seeing Badou stick around the division and fight a Better BF. Like he's like the definition of a veteran contender right now. Who he's probably not the favorite against nobody like that, but Better BF. Who you fight? You got nothing. Badou Jack.
Yeah.
And Badou, I mean, he's no slouch.
I was gonna say, and also talk about a fighter who's changed trainers and really bought into the concepts that this trainer is bringing them.
Jonathan Banks.
Jonathan Banks is an excellent trainer, old school. Is all about using the hands to create the knockout, and especially with the right hand. So
As opposed to what?
As opposed to what?
You said using the hands to create the knockouts. What are the other options?
Some guys look for one
Headbutt?
punch, you know.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, some guys look, you know.
I
you go to a trainer, he's like, all right, so we're gonna develop that left hook. And it's like the next fight, the only thing this fighter is doing is throwing jabs and hooks.
Overwhelm him with multiple shots.
His punch output is increased.
He's a technician.
I need to say what the Showtime did not say after the first round, but he did not start off slow. I mean, I get it. Talk about him being a slow starter. But after the first round or during the first round, say, hey, this Badou's really picked it up.
Yeah.
Give credit where credit's due, you know. So I think that Jonathan Banks is doing a good job. And I also think that Badou is buying into the concepts and making some really good adjustments.
I think moving up, kind of going back to what you said, I think
turn this, man. I
yeah,
feel
that's
like
fine.
the whole
it might
time.
hit me. But if you say something crazy, I'm gonna but I think that would be classic if it popped up into you. But I think his mindset, what he said is, I'm only here to fight Pascal. I'm only staying in this division to fight him.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm moving up. Yeah. I would like to see him. We talked about Zytel and I talked about some of the cruiserweights. There's some winnable fights at cruiserweight for him. So I think moving up maybe. But yeah, he looked good.
Very boring division.
Cruiserweight. Not a lot of shine up there.
You know what though? I think that it's just a matter of the right guys being in that division.
Of course, yeah.
And then being like highlighting that division. You know, 130 and 135 wasn't always highlighted.
154.
Now it's being highlighted.
Charlo's
right now.
the only one holding it on.
154. I mean, I still got to get some more competition in there, and Charlo's keeping that division very relevant. You know.
Well, it's tough to. I guess that's the balance of exposure, but who are you putting in spotlight? So like you can damn sure try to highlight some cruiserweights, but then it's gonna be like, nah, I don't ever see that guy in the main event ever again. So
what just came to mind, I talked about it last week in terms of female boxing kind of increasing and things looking better for them. But it took me actually like just watching and taking notice and being like, oh, okay. Maybe it just takes you watching the cruiserweight division. Maybe it takes a card having maybe 2 or 3 cruiserweight fights on the card,
like they did with what was it, Superfly?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Superfly cards.
Yeah.
And by logic, the cruiserweight division should be fun to watch.
Right.
Yeah.
Heavyweights, big punchers, cruiserweight.
Big
right
guys
there.
who are forced to get in shape.
Yeah.
Because they have a weight limit.
True.
Right.
So, it should be, but for now, not so much. But
I never thought about it.
Right? That's how they should sell it.
yeah,
Man, you sharp on your
Big
own.
guy-
Don't take my stuff no more.
big guys required to focus on
To be in weight.
Something just popped in my head.
Okay.
Why was it that all you guys decided to settle at welterweight? Is it because of Floyd Mayweather? Is it
ask me
because...
It's always been called the glamour division, I guess.
Okay, so it's always been like that? So
Sugar Ray Robinson to
Okay.
Oscar
I'm
to
just
Ray
like,
Leonard.
it's like everybody's
Yeah.
goal below that is like to get there. Even people that's like 160 to go down.
Right, yeah.
Just like it's
I
like
don't
the
know about
settle
160
weight.
to go down, but
160 to go down is a lot.
you
He's more than 160 right now.
hold on.
He's working towards it.
Put your thumb down.
He's working toward. But are you saying a fighter at 160?
He's
I'm just talking
working
about.
towards it.
I'm just talking about your life, like you walking around.
Because like a fighter at 160,
Carson,
they're walking around.
Man, Carson
at
got
like
well, not make
190.
cruiserweight. I guarantee you.
Very true.
Okay,
But
so
now, should we move to the?
Let's move.
The main event
What are you
was
talking about?
to the real cruiserweight, Logan
Yeah.
Paul.
oh yeah, a
Paul
cruiserweight
taking the
versus
division over.
welterweight.
welterweight. Technically, it was junior welter or super welterweight.
Yeah,
I like that those divisions, by the way. That
Technically, he's a middleweight.
154 has
super. Yeah.
welterweight or junior middleweight. They're like, give them a cool name.
Yeah.
Go
Give
go
them
with
their own
super, I
name.
guess.
Yeah, because it's like it feels like you're between. You're not actually a division. It's like you're a big welterweight or a small middleweight.
I'm not even going to front. When I was at 154, my dad said, I did an interview and said junior middleweight. He said he coached me to say super welterweight because super sounds better than junior. You know?
I heard the big dog prefers supers to juniors. Mr.
Okay.
Mr.
that guy.
Heyman. I won't say it often. I won't say the
we
man.
knew who it was. They knew it was. Y'all knew who it was.
Allegedly. No,
But I just heard that's something he prefers.
Yeah, main event was
Shout out to my guy AH.
Cleveland Zone. What's up? Speaking of Cleveland Zone,
Sorry, my bad. All right, my bad.
Hey, he's not coming on the podcast next week.
but
No, we good.
main event not very fun to watch.
Floyd, you got us again, man. You be getting us. You be getting us. Guys, you keep getting us.
You was on your feet.
No, I wasn't.
Nah,
you just
but
chill out. I was like,
you was a
hold on.
little. You got loud a couple
Yeah, I got
times.
hyped. I thought you were going to stop him in the third, fourth.
Yeah, it was. It was a combination of a lot of factors. The size difference clearly mattered.
Yeah, it was big compared to Floyd.
Floyd, of course, not notoriously a huge puncher, makes an impact, and then a lot of holding from the Paul brother. Just wasn't very fun to watch. I don't think I had like crazy expectations. My only expectation, I told you guys, I was hoping Floyd was at some point just going to be like, F this.
And that's what we thought we was getting in the fourth.
Which typically
Something like
we
that.
don't, so I don't know why we thought that we would get that. That's I guess where he got me as well. Like I've never seen Floyd do that to that extent.
McGregor.
Well, we saw it at
Yeah.
the very end of McGregor.
But
We did
throughout the
see it.
McGregor fight, he didn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, towards the end, that's what I waned to see.
Yeah.
What we saw towards the end.
I
of the
thought
McGregor
that
fight.
we were going to see the
Yeah.
McGregor
where
finish
he's
as
just
well.
like, all right, let me just get him out of here. But
Dude was
I
big.
don't know, man.
big guy,
Maybe
was
it
what
was.
Floyd
Maybe
is 44.
Yeah. But maybe it was just what's going on with Triller that had me. I was expecting or thinking that there was going to be like, I was looking for the silver lining. I just thought that there was going to be more to the night and even more to that fight. Like they both walked to the ring. I didn't expect either of them to walk to the ring.
You thought he was going to drop from?
I just thought it was going to be different.
Like Sting?
More spectacle.
I thought there was going to be more spectacle, and
Yeah,
I didn't
Thriller.
see
Thriller.
It also,
Triller, man.
Oh, my
Come
bad.
on, don't
Shout
be
out to
black.
Mike.
to be fair, it also was raining. I don't know if that dampened, pun intended, any of the. Maybe there was some other cool stuff. That was gonna happen.
Avery Johnson.
No, don't do it.
Is that his name?
Yes, remember you said the basketball player?
Yeah, no, because I was thinking the Little General was going to come out. I don't know if they messed up his name or if that.
Avery Jones.
But that was. I was hoping for somebody in Miami to sing that. I was hoping for Gloria Estefan.
Trick
Pitbull?
Daddy.
Pitbull?
Trick Daddy and Trina were the first two that came to mind.
That's going to sing the national anthem, Carson.
Trick
Come
Daddy.
with this.
Carson.
Trina,
kids,
you sing the
man.
national anthem?
He loves the kids,
I would love to
man.
see Trina sing the national
And
anthem,
Trick
man.
Daddy loves the kids, loves the country.
He
I don't
does.
know.
He does love the kids. I remember that
Yeah.
on MTV. Who was it? My Block, Florida. Yeah.
Guy loves the kids, man.
Yeah,
but
he loves the
Gloria
kids.
Estefan, you would have appreciated that.
I didn't know she was from Miami.
She was in the Miami Sound Machine.
I don't know who the Miami Sound Machine is.
I haven't heard of her since like 1998. So
Don't do that.
shout out
You guys
to Gloria
disgust me. I hope everyone in the
Very
comments.
beautiful and
extremely
elegant
talented.
and talented woman. I just did not know where she was from.
I'm hoping the comments are filled with Miami Sound Machine references.
Miami Sound Machine.
They were rocking. I'm pretty sure that's it.
I don't know. Me, I didn't
Am I
really
right?
have.
It was Miami Sound Machine, right? Can I get a thumbs up from somebody?
Producers, directors.
I mean,
We don't have
We
the
got
screen
nothing.
anymore.
We got
crazy.
nothing.
We usually get it in the screen.
I got
We-
nothing in front
we
of
got
me. I got
nothing.
no
Pull it up from now on. Yeah, put it on. Yeah, put it
Okay,
on that.
thumbs
Yeah.
up. Yeah, there you go. See?
We have a monitor
Miami
that,
Sound
that
Machine.
hopefully we'll have
No,
put
they-
up.
they
and
rock,
We'll
though.
know what
But-
it is.
No,
But-
so I was hoping for a Miami artist. He might be from Miami, to be fair, because I've never heard of the gentleman.
There it is.
Hey, that's true.
Here you
He
go.
definitely could be from Miami.
That's
Yeah,
a good
Miami
move.
Sound
Oh, that's
Do
clean.
that.
That's clean.
Yeah,
That's
Nah,
clean.
yeah.
What was this? A group that Gloria?
Yeah.
Stefan, was it like a
What's
Wu
some-
Tang
yeah, 'cause
clan
they-
of
it was
singers?
No, but
It wasn't like
Like,
that.
they had
Somebody
a
who
new
came
song.
out.
I don't
Who
remember.
came out to Cream, by the way? Was it Badou?
Badou Jack. Yep.
yeah.
So,
Grew up on the
but
crime side.
about the
New
fight,
York Times. So.
you know, I talked about
Say
this.
your piece.
Yes, talked about this with your dad before he headed out, the great KP, and KP pretty much saw everything the same way I did, and we're talking right before he leaves, and you know, it's like, you know, we're not going to be cliche, and it's embarrassing to the sport, it's embarrassing to yourself that you would take part in this and all that, etc. No way. But the one part that isn't good isn't all that. It's if you didn't perform, and he didn't perform tonight. You know, and that's if he would have whooped his ass 8 ways to Sunday, hit him in every direction and all that, I'd have loved it, and I'd have felt like that was the entertainment and the fun that we were looking for that he didn't provide.
Yeah.
And you know, weight classes exist for a reason.
Yeah.
The kid Logan Paul, he may be very inexperienced, but just it was interesting in that even if you can just fight a little bit, and you're on this level and this guy's on this level, but you outweigh him by 30, 40 pounds, they make weight classes
Take a shot.
for a reason, right? And he did, and you know, like you said, Floyd, it doesn't matter who you put him in there with. He's not going to ratchet it up.
Yeah.
He's not a
And
yeah.
maybe it's unfair of us to expect him to.
Well, I didn't expect him to. I mean,
Well,
outside
I
of
guess, well, not expect him, but I guess it's unfair of us to
one.
hold him to that standard
Oh, yeah.
and say,
Oh, yeah.
hey, why didn't you jump? It's like,
Yeah.
well, you
But
didn't know that to me.
You know, he's talking about we had fun tonight. I kind of don't believe him. I think
don't
it's always
I
fun
don't
to make
think he had
money.
fun, but I do think he's happy about the check. But I agree. I mentioned it to one of you. I don't think he very much enjoyed that at all.
It didn't
No.
go like he wanted it to.
It didn't look like he had fun.
I think he got a little more than he bargained for.
I think the holding was probably annoying. Logan Paul's a bigger guy, so I don't think Floyd was in there like, man, this is a good time.
Honestly, I hope it broke his spirit and he gets the hell
Yeah,
out of here.
exactly.
Floyd,
I love Floyd, favorite fighter of all time. I always say if Shawn fought Floyd, I don't know what the hell I was going to do. But yeah, I want
It
Floyd
won't.
to leave.
he won't.
Ah, damn, you're right. too.
You said you want him to, or don't
I just
want
want him to leave, man.
He's
Just
not
go
going
enjoy
to.
your life, bro. Like,
He's not going.
When
to.
it's all over and the check's collected, it's all good. But same thing with the Conor McGregor fight. In them early rounds where Floyd's getting touched up by a guy that in his prime couldn't F with him in his wildest dreams.
Yeah.
In those moments, it is embarrassing.
Yeah,
And I say that like you. I love Floyd Mayweather. I love Floyd Mayweather as a fighter. I love all great fighters. He's one of the greatest fighters of all time.
Yeah.
But I'm just gonna say, yeah, maybe once it's all done and now the check's done and everyone's going back to their lives and who really cares anyways. Now it's all good. But in those moments, I really hate it as someone who really admires Floyd for the fighter he is. And in those moments where Conor McGregor's touching him, hitting him with an uppercut and turning him around and hitting him in the back of his head at the end of the first round when he's pounding on Floyd Mayweather, those moments are embarrassing. You know, he's that's beneath him. And but obviously he doesn't feel that way.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna sit here and be more outraged than he is for going through
and
it.
I'm never gonna say don't make your money. I mean, hell, make your
Okay,
money,
but at some point, it's a fair question. Is there a price on your dignity or respect? But I don't know if it's that deep with him tonight. But
I didn't watch that like it was a circus. It was what it was. I also
I expected the circus though.
yeah,
That-
but
right.
also in
I
Floyd,
think that
in Floyd's defense, there have been some people that have said, "Oh, this is against boxing," blah blah blah. I understand there wasn't YouTubers in, but Muhammad Ali fought multiple exhibitions against non-boxers.
look it up because I didn't know that about man
Yeah,
Carson.
like he fought I think he fought a hockey player. He fought like a mixed martial artist.
Antonio Inuki, the Japanese wrestler.
Yeah, so like it's not unheard of. Like it's not like Floyd's just like break. Obviously, there's a difference between a YouTuber and a hockey player, sure, but it is what it is. He's making his money. I get what you're saying, where it's like at some point does the money outweigh the legacy? I don't think Floyd particularly cares.
Gives a shit.
And I always said with Floyd,
which I can respect. He's like,
I always said with Floyd, love him to death. But
what about what he represents? Sorry, go ahead.
No, you good. I felt like Floyd is broke. Only thing he has is money. He don't got real friends. He don't got people that really love him. Besides, I think his kids. Without the money, what else people be around him? All a bunch of yes men. I don't think he got nobody that go back and forth with Shawn like me and Carson will on his side. Like, without that money, what does Floyd Mayweather have?
Is it the money or is it the attention?
I think he loves the attention too.
I think it's both.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not. Excuse me. I'm not gonna completely jump on what you said because I'd rather him. It ain't gonna ever happen, but I'd rather see what else is going on with Floyd other than the money, other than, the extracurricular stuff that we do see. Y'all know me very well, and y'all see me in training camp, night of the fight, day before the fight, all that kind of stuff. Y'all see everything, and y'all have been there for me, so on and so forth. So to an extent, I understand what you're saying, and I agree with you. Obviously he needs more of the love and the realness and all that kind of stuff, but I can't jump on it and say that he doesn't. I can jump on it and say that I can assume that he doesn't. I would say safely and say that you're assuming, and if that assumption is correct, yes, you need something else because you're now 44. Life is changing. You've beat Father Time to this point, but eventually it's just not gonna happen. It's a part of the process of life, and once that does happen, and you go to bed at night, are you going to bed truly happy and at peace, or are you going to bed waiting to get up in the morning and go spend some more money, waiting to get up in the morning and go see some other people and who just there for the money, so on and so forth.
Because I don't see the same. Again, he's talking about having fun, and I don't see the same joy from the man that I saw 10 years ago, 6 years ago, when he would. They do the like 70s disco dance in the middle of camp, and
too. It's just different. He's in the ring with a YouTuber. Somebody asked me tonight, how hard do you think he trained for this? I'm like, Floyd is a professional. Floyd is ready for this. He trained. He got ready. But like, you training for Sugar Shane Mosley. You training for Manny Pacquiao.
De La Hoya.
Training for.
He's fought everybody.
You training for those guys. The energy is just different. So. I would venture to say he didn't have fun tonight. I would venture to say that he's going to enjoy the paycheck that came. He enjoys the fact that this was only 8 rounds opposed to the 12 that he normally goes. And so I think there's every fighter after the fight comes this big sigh of relief of I've done it. It's done. Give me my check. Let me go home. Where's my family? So on and so forth. So I know he's looking forward to all that. But beyond that, I would venture to say he didn't have fun either. I expected more from the show. I expected the circuit. I keep coming back to that.
You're right.
I don't want a performance.
Yeah, because
if it's not going to be a straight up, real good boxing match, but then you want to see some other forms of entertainment.
Everybody's saying, why is Floyd doing this? What Floyd? Okay, he's getting money, but da. I'm like, all right, well, Floyd's got something in his pocket because it really doesn't make sense. But to Floyd, it makes sense. So I waited till tonight to see what he had in his pocket, and outside of what Showtime normally does, it really wasn't much past that. I'll go on record for saying I'm not spoiled by Triller. I don't know any of the acts that they put on, so I'm not spoiled by that. But it really is a show. It's eventful, and it's a little bit of a circus act. The thing with Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather, they did the whole tour around the world. It was a big spectacle and all that. These guys, they stood next to each other. And I expected more of a show, and we didn't get that.
I don't know. I guess I feel slightly different.
Yeah.
Mayweather McGregor was actually a decent fight that ended in a stoppage too. Yeah. All said and done.
I don't know. I just I don't know. I just think like
I didn't hold it up to here.
No, I didn't either. But I guess I didn't.
I bought it. I'm like, yeah, come on over. I wasn't up here, but
I wasn't up there, and I don't think I am not like I don't know. I'm not unhappy that I wasn't up there. I just, like if I'm Floyd,
what are we even talking about?
Well, I'm just saying because I'm like if I'm Floyd, I would do that 50 more times.
Right?
Why would you not?
Oh yeah,
And I don't know the man's personal happiness, but like if he enjoys that, he has fun doing that.
Oh, I got a good question. When is this acceptable?
When is it acceptable?
Yeah.
Whenever the hell you want to.
Well,
We're accepting it right now.
Exactly.
Well, what I'm saying is, it's not acceptable for me, is it? I'm not that, either way.
Or if you got in a fight?
No, I'm saying like if I was to fight a YouTuber, if I was to fight,
if you getting paid, I'm like, Shawn, go get that
social
money.
Media sensation.
You have to worry about your foundation, which is your family.
Yeah.
Go get the money, bro.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm all about getting the money.
And I'm not asking for permission. I'm just simply saying, like, when is this?
Is it a little
acceptable?
different though if he had $1 billion? And again, I'm with you. Go get your money. But is it a little? If you got $1 billion, and
because Shawn lifestyle definitely doesn't
Require
$1 billion. If Shawn's in the ring, I'm gonna slap the shit out of him.
I
got
think,
$1 billion.
I think there's gonna be,
and he's 44.
I mean, if you're like at your literal spot right now,
that's what I was asking. At my literal spot right now, I don't think it's acceptable for me. It's not acceptable for Canelo. It's not acceptable for Spence.
Earl, Terrence.
I really don't. Is it okay? So it's acceptable for Pacquiao?
Well, they were saying
Absolutely.
Pacquiao was gonna do it.
Acceptable for
hell
Pacquiao.
yeah. And to be honest,
I would give it. Let you guys do it.
I was gonna
I
say,
really-
to be
I
honest,
think
I don't
that's-
think it's unacceptable for you. Like if right now, if you were like, hey, I'm fighting insert random person here.
The money has to be right.
Let's say Big E, because he's our guy.
All
Say
right.
wrestler.
All right.
We're bringing the
Let's
wrestler.
go
Shout out to
Big E.
Big E.
Biggie Smalls?
No.
Big E.
He's fighting the hologram of
Big E.
It's
Biggie
a new
Smalls.
day.
Yeah.
Yes, it
Shout out
is.
to the new day.
Yeah.
But no, like if you were like, hey, I'm fighting Big E next for $50 million.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we cashing out, baby.
Like anything like
That's different.
I mean, okay.
It wasn't even-
I didn't think 50 was way out there. But I think anything, I'm going to be like, okay, like I don't know. I guess I feel I don't hold it to this standard of boxing.
Yeah.
Like I didn't look at tonight like a fight. It was like it was
Yeah.
what it was. Floyd calls it, what's he call it? Legalized bank robbing.
Mm-hmm.
Do your thing, get your money. I would say the same thing about you. If you were like, hey, I'm fighting somebody, it's an exhibition, they're giving me a ton of money to do it. I'm still gonna fight afterwards.
Hold on.
I just, as loving the sport and I hate to see that he decisively beat the best fighters of his generation before. And now he's letting Logan Paul and Conor McGregor put some hands on him. They're actually landing a few shots here and there. And I just don't like seeing it as a fan of his.
You don't appreciate it?
Just as a fan of his.
Shawn wants 100% dominance.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
and I
think he could have.
Yeah, you're the professional here. You're the legend. You're the superstar. You're damn near the GOAT.
To be fair, I think he could have if he wanted to.
I don't-
tonight.
I don't think he could, Carson.
No?
He was big, man.
know.
I think he could dominate.
He was big.
He's big.
You don't think he could? You don't think he could have dominated?
He's big. He was
He's
big.
I think what we saw from Floyd is exactly what could have been done. I think that there's other fighters, boxers that can have some different.
What would you have done?
You know what I would have done.
Body all day?
I would have tried to hurt dude. Yeah, I would have tried to hurt.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
But
Floyd
Floyd's
could've
style
done
is
more.
different from mine.
Very true.
Yeah.
But also I got it by Floyd. I've never seen anyone with the eye as good as Floyd Mayweather's. I have not. No, I have not seen anybody with an eye as good as Floyd Mayweather's. And what I mean by that is just knowing that this is what I'm gonna do. This is what he's about to do. His anticipation is on another level. We talking about him being 44. I didn't see the quickness decline or anything like that at all. But even if his quickness did decline, how does he make up for it? With that boxer's eye, with the ability to just know. And I think that he knew everything that Paul was going to do, and I think that he saw and knew everything that he could do. So
I think he could have. I think he could have ramped it up if he wanted to, but
If his life was on the line.
yeah,
right.
but like he
but we also know this. We also know that the most dangerous fighters in the ring are the guys who don't have experience. And if you don't know, now you know. The guys who are the most
back to
dangerous in the
Biggie.
ring is because there are the guys who don't have experience, and that's because they really are liable to do anything at any time. Here's the thing: Logan Paul at any point is really liable to throw a hook and then come right back with it. You get that kind of stuff from those kind of guys, and so when you saying put your foot on the gas pedal, it's like I kind of know that could happen, and I ain't trying to deal with
and
that.
that's why,
you know?
and that's
So-
why I
You
guess
get caught.
and that's why I don't hold Floyd like, dude, you really should have done that.
Yeah.
And like they mentioned on the broadcast, he said before, I'm not gonna put my health at risk.
Yeah.
Like, why would I?
Yeah.
And I would agree. But
Yeah. Listen, we 63 in.
Yeah.
touch quickly on the fight this weekend.
Well, let me. let me touch on what I'm gonna touch on.
And good for Logan Paul.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then,
Good for Logan Paul.
Good for both of them.
yeah, good for Logan Paul. He was so gracious at the end of the fight. I didn't expect that.
I thought he would pop off.
Yeah,
I don't
Yeah.
pay attention to him too often, and no disrespect. And I'm not on social media.
He's a
Y'all
little more
already know
humble
that.
than his brother. Man.
Yeah, and so I just expected I
too.
didn't see or get any. Like I just thought more we were gonna get.
Honestly, once it was over, we all bounced.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm gonna touch on this right quick, and then we can bounce to next week's
Yeah.
fight right quick. But I want to go back to last week's show.
Okay.
I knew when I told you I text y'all this. We put our show out on Tuesday. I knew Monday.
Every Tuesday.
I said because I'm just every
All streaming
Tuesday.
platforms.
I'm always meditating.
Yeah.
And I had this conversation with you. This is episode 38. And it didn't get me until we were mid-20s until I was comfortable with everything that we were doing. Before that, we had this conversation one
Show
time.
was garbage.
Before I was like, you hit me
What?
up.
He thought it was garbage.
He hit me up one day and said, "Hey man, what you think about tonight's show?" And I'm like, I actually thought tonight's show was good, but he's never done that before. And we might have been at like episode 15,
Gotcha,
16,
okay.
somewhere like.
I see
like,
where you're going. I
He
wasn't sure
said,
before, but I see
how do you think tonight's show? And I said, I actually thought tonight's show was good. I don't never leave the room. I actually leave the room thinking the exact opposite. I'm like, yo, that was garbage. What we gonna do next week? I don't know. And I said, the only thing that brings me back from that is the fact that everybody enjoys da 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 da.
Yeah.
Just saying that to say, when Sunday, I felt pretty good about everything that we did, right? Monday, I was walking around the house and I said, I need to call our producer right now and tell him to edit the end of that out because it's gonna be some problems. And I said, it's too late. I ain't gonna put that on him. I'm gonna have to pay him more. I'm not doing it. I'm gonna just deal with it. So I already knew this was coming and I was already prepared to deal with it. Everybody thinks that I said or was
Implying.
alluding.
You combined implying.
Yeah, implying. I'm from
Louisiana.
Don't blame Louisiana.
Don't put that in me, man. Don't
Dang.
put that on me.
I ain't gonna say it because they already mad at Louisiana.
Everyone thought that I was implying that the fight between Linares and Haney was fixed. I was not implying that it was fixed. What I think I left what I was saying wide open, and I knew that on Monday. I was like, you didn't close that right. You didn't say that right. What I was trying to say is Linares' lack of intensity. His punch output did not increase in rounds 11 and 12. There was no sense of urgency. There was nothing to me, nothing that showed that he wanted to win that fight, that he wanted to knock out Haney after hurting him in the 10th round. And it's clear that he knew that he was hurt because he escorted him to his corner.
Yeah.
And I was not saying that the fight was fixed. What I was saying was that, hey, at the end of it all, this dude just went out there and got his paycheck, and that was it. I also said that I expected more from him. I did not want Devin to lose that fight. I don't care about whatever big fight he could be in the future. I did not want to see him lose.
Yeah.
I did not want to see him lose to Linares. I wanted to see him move on, prosper, the bigger and better.
Yeah.
And what I was trying to say was because I didn't see Linares in anything about him showing that he wanted to win, I was like, yo, that just looked funny to me. That looked different. And I left it wide open. But what I meant was he did not do what I expected him to do as a former champion or as
even just a competitive champion level fighter. Right
now. And I didn't see that. And so I want to clear that up by saying I did not mean to allude to him being, I use the right word that time. Allude to him being the fight being fixed.
So I think the biggest thing, which I'll allow you to clarify, was that it seemed as if, based on you alluding to the fight being fixed, you were taking credit away from Devin Haney.
Oh, okay.
That was the concern. Was people were like, oh, he's taken away from this great fight from this young fighter.
Yeah.
Which I don't think you were doing at all.
No.
And so I think that was important to note.
Yeah.
Because that's what
you're
people.
right.
Because people
You're
are like, oh, it's. None of the feedback was like, man, that's crazy. You accused Linares of that. It was like you're taking away shine from Devin Haney, who's a young fighter that you have a relationship with.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to note that.
Yeah.
It was not you. We talked. I mean, it's funny that was the part, but like we talked about how great Devin Haney was before that.
Yeah.
So great performance from Devin.
Yeah.
I don't think you meant to do that. And also,
I
at the time I didn't think you were alluding to that. And then I was kind of like, maybe he was.
Yeah.
And then afterwards I was like, yeah, it kind of felt, based on if somebody's just listening to that, they would get that same thing.
Yeah.
You're like, it's suspicious. You say what?
Oh yeah. I went off. I was salty, man.
You were just like, you guys say what you're gonna say. And at the time, I was like, I didn't think it was fixed. I
swear to God, like I replayed all that in my mind on Monday, and I was like, yo, what were you doing? Like, this is gonna be bad.
It was a bit much, but again, you weren't discrediting Devin.
Yeah.
Great performance.
Yeah.
We mentioned that.
Yeah. And then one more thing I have to say about that. So we get everything coming at us like Tuesday.
Yeah.
I think everything started coming at us on Tuesday. So then I think Thursday you were like, hey, see if Devin might want to come on the show. So I reached out. I had a conversation with Bill, and I asked Bill, I said, hey, yo, do you mind if I, bring this up on my show? I said I was going to revisit it anyway because I feel like I have some things to clear up anyway.
Right.
I said, but I'm only going to bring this up if it's cool with you. And he said, no, I'm not coming on your punk ass show. And I was like, okay, that's fine.
It's a punk ass show in all fairness.
Yeah, we're a bunch of punk ass.
That's fine. I was like, dang, like we spent 30 minutes on the phone. I wish you had just said that from the GO. So I entertained everything that he had to say to me. I'm not going to say everything that came out over the phone, but I will say that he felt that I didn't give his son credit.
Yeah. Which was the general thought.
I think, and I think that the way that I exhibited my point at the end of that whole thing really took away from
which it would in any circumstance. Like
Yeah.
if we talk about a basketball game,
Yeah.
and we're like, the Clippers and the Mavericks, we're like, I think the Mavericks ran on the take.
Yeah.
That completely takes away
Yeah.
from the Clippers because
Yeah.
then it's like, oh, you didn't actually win.
Yeah. So I asked him, I said, yo, did you actually watch the show? Or did
someone tell you?
Somebody
Bits
tell
and
you?
pieces.
Yeah. He said, no, I watched the show. I watched the show.
It.
Hey, shout for the view.
Yeah.
I said, yo, watch it back, because I don't think I was on y'all or on you as hard as you think I was. He said, no, you was.
I was.
I said, well, maybe I should watch it back, because maybe I don't remember exactly how that went down, but I want to clear it up again.
Yeah.
I thought that Devin, 95% of this fight, even upwards to 98% of this fight, was very good.
Yeah.
I won't say masterful. Was very good. It was excellent.
It was amazing.
excellent.
The first 10 was amazing.
Yeah, it was excellent until just and one hiccup.
And it's a
95 to 98%. 95 to 89,
Amazing.
95%.
None of us wanted to see him lose.
No.
And I did not want to see him lose.
But not at all.
I just want to go on record for saying that exactly. Like I'm not wishing ill on this dude. I try to call it the way I see it.
We keep it real here, man. If you don't like it, you don't got to watch.
And I think that what the thing is, and I think what it is we go back with Devin and his dad. Devin's been in the ring with me. We sparred, so on and so forth.
I recorded it.
And
Allegedly.
And Devin was a young dude, and I was still young in this game, trying to become a champion, so on and so forth. And I think because we go back as far as we do, I think you just don't expect anything bad to be said, or the critique to be the way that it was said. Or it would be said
offline.
Yeah.
And be understandable.
And I need everybody to understand moving forward that I'm not out to take shots. I'm not really not out for the views, because he did allude to that. Hey, you just did that for the view. I'm not out for views. I want this podcast to succeed. I want this podcast to always be real. I want it to be the Porter way. We talk about everything that's boxing. We talk about things beyond boxing. But I think that because of our relationship and all that kind of stuff, I don't think they expected anything to be said
negative
on this show. I think if anything, they wanted the corrections to come straight to them, so on and so forth.
And why would you think that when we give you shit and you're our boy, you're on the show?
Right.
It is what it is, But when it's that's the thing. Like, it's nobody's problem until it's their problem. Once it's their problem, now it matters, So in this instance, I really had one critique, and that's, hey, you guys got to tighten up in that corner when things happen like that. Keep it together, And he told me everything that he did in the corner. I'm like, okay. I entertained the whole conversation that we had, but at the end of it, I said, hey, what you need to know is I'm still rooting for you and Dev. I hope the best for y'all, and this don't do nothing for me in terms of how I view you or view y'all. Mm-hmm. He did feel a little different. He like, hey man, you came at us in a way I didn't expect, and I kind of knew based on some other things that have happened to you that this was gonna happen eventually. I'm like, it's gonna happen eventually, But it is what it is. Listen, this is the Porter Way podcast. We're gonna talk about boxing. We're gonna get to the real. If you don't like what I said about Jarrett Hurd, I'm sorry. If you don't like what I said about Luis Arias, I'm sorry. But I try to keep it real, and I try to say what's on my heart and my mind. I don't make any of this up.
As you
I
should.
I actually know things now because I get good stuff that come to mind.
And you also,
and if I don't, then y'all may miss it.
and you know a lot of these guys. So I think if you're willing to say it, I would, correct me if I'm wrong.
Hey,
I think
listen.
you would have said the same thing to them directly,
Yeah.
or if you had a relationship with better relationship, not better, but knew Jarrett Hurd better, you'd say, hey, you know.
Hey, what's crazy is I can't help but be me, right? So he called. I'm getting a lot of slack over the phone, so on and so forth, and something just like try to help them.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, listen, people were booing at the end because of the way that you guys were clinching. I try to stay away from the word holding, but I said, hey, Devin's got to figure out a better way to initiate that clinch. I said he was reaching out at the end of the fight. Everyone can see that he's clearly grabbing and holding Linares. That's not the right way to do it. I said, hey, maybe you should try getting Dev to slip to the inside, get a little close, and then stand up on the guy and body to body and get close, so on and so forth. And he wasn't trying to hear anything like that at the end of this conversation because he thought that I was just really coming at him. I'm not out to get anybody. I'm out to entertain. I'm out to have fun. I'm out to give some good insight. I will apologize because I really wasn't trying to allude to the fight being fixed, and I know that y'all take everything that I say very serious. And so I was a little hot because I expected more from Linares. I tweeted,
Yeah.
Linares ain't finished. It's gonna be a tough road for
Yeah.
him, but he's gonna handle it. And then when it went what I thought I was gonna saw, then I didn't see what I thought, and I was a little heated. So it is what it is. We gonna move forward beyond that.
Yeah.
But I do want everybody to know that moving forward, hey, I'm gonna try to say things correctly. That was a moment, and I even considered this like I'm on TV, I'm on live television, and when I mess up, I smile at it, I laugh, and I learn from it, and I try to keep going. And that's exactly what I did with this. Yeah. I didn't take anything too serious or too hard to my heart, and I just learned from it.
Yeah,
So.
all you can do. But
Let's get to the other fight right quick before we get up out of here.
Shakur Stevenson, Jeremiah Nakathila.
Back.
Yeah.
I like that dude, man.
Jeremiah Nakathila or
Both of them, but I really like Shakur. Yeah, I really like Shakur.
I would have been surprised if you were like a big Jeremiah fan.
Oh yeah.
I've been in Namibia a few times.
Yeah. But no,
I just like everything about him.
Shakur that's a special guy.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna see. I think this is gonna be. It's not the name that I think people wanted, and it's maybe not the fight that people, or the level, I guess, for lack of a better term. But I think that benefits us as fans of actually watching it because I think we're gonna get a special performance from Shakur.
I think Nakathila presents the style that is going to let Shakur show his best.
Exactly.
Is this guy is it's a good fight. I mean, it's a good opponent for Shakur if you can't get the champions right now. Nakathila is tall, he's long, and he can punch, and he's aggressive, and he's gonna come and make it a fun fight, and that's gonna give Shakur all the opportunity to shoot off his counters,
Defensive work,
to do his defensive work, to come back and counter, to box beautifully, to be himself.
He's a sharp kid.
Oh, absolutely.
It sounds like this fight's building him up for the winner of Nakatani
and Loma.
Oh,
Could be.
like that.
the
Well,
winner
he'd have
just
to
won.
move up 5 pounds though, and he wants the Herring Valdez winner.
I'm
right.
down for that winner as well. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
It's a lot of action down there,
there's
boy.
going to be some good action.
Trying to go down to 135? 130? Okay.
That'd be funny on that card. I know Pedraza's on there. He usually comes the bang. Tyler McCreary, Ohio native, Toledo.
Irish name, but
Yeah,
from Ohio. I remember when he fought Carl Frampton. I told Carl Frampton, this guy's got a more Irish name than you do.
yeah. So, no, it should be fun. I'm excited. I think Shakur Stevenson, has unlimited potential. I think he could be. You talked about. You think Devin could be pound for pound number one. I think Shakur Stevenson could be pound for pound number one.
It's hot down there, man.
Shakur does have great talent, but he reminds me a little more of Andre Ward in that Andre Ward was a great talent, but he wasn't a Floyd Mayweather talent. You know, he had good reflexes, good speed, but he wasn't a Roy Jones, Floyd Mayweather, just out of this world reflexes. So he reminds me. I actually think Devin Haney, in terms of just gifts, maybe a little more gifted than Shakur, but Shakur might be further ahead technical skill wise.
And he's older, couple years. Is he a year?
I think they're about the same age. He's a baby still.
They're so damn young.
just
That whole group is so damn young.
Yeah, Shakur's still a baby, but he's just sharp, man. He's just great technical skills. Reminds me, he fights in a different style than Andre Ward, but he's just so sharp and technically sound, and he's guaranteed top 10 pound for pound.
It's funny that
he's gonna get there.
That group, I know we're way past the normal end time. Sean usually brings that up, but
I can't push the button and start the music.
But no, with that whole group is gonna be special,
and they all will settle at welterweight.
Possibly. Teofimo, Devin, Shakur.
I don't think Shakur and Gervonta are going to end up at welterweight. I think Tio, Devin, and Ryan are going to go up to 47. But I think Shakur and Gervonta are going to stay down in these 130, 135. Those
Tank work his way up.
Tank is
going to work his way
up. I mean,
up.
he's fighting 140. But I think that's his limit, though.
Through them all. He's going to roll through all those divisions. He's going to roll through all those divisions.
You don't think 140 is going to be his limit?
Yeah, boy.
I can see him 140. I can see him being a champion at 140. Then at some point saying, "Hey, yo, I'm gonna move up to 147."
He could.
I don't see him going any higher than 147.
That whole young group is.
Because I would love to see Shakur and Tank fight one day.
Pac has done
Absolutely.
eight different divisions. We'll never see that again, but we'll see those guys move up maybe four divisions. 4 divisions.
Special.
Well, and Tank's southpaw puncher like Manny was.
Yeah.
If he carries that power up, then
yeah, we'll see. No, gonna be a good fight. Top rank, ESPN.
Shakur Stevenson.
Bingo.
Saturday, be there.
Fire the music up.
Well, shoot, that's it for the day. We got a new look. I hope y'all appreciate the new look.
We're
back in the
adjusting some
studio.
things.
Yeah.
We adjusting some things. These two dudes is a little too tight over here.
Yeah.
You a little
nice
too
little
close
space.
to me.
I'm over here trying to calm down race relations.
So we gonna figure this out, man. We gonna keep it rocking. Thank y'all for always tuning in. I'm gonna record a new outro because that needs to be
It's cool.
Get up out of here.
Fair
Nah,
enough.
y'all subscribe, tell a friend. God bless you guys. We'll catch you on the next one. Don't tell me you didn't enjoy what you saw, because I know you did. What you need to do now, hit that subscribe button, hit the like, hit that notification button. Check us out every week, every Tuesday, something new for you right here on the Porter Way Podcast.